It's a weird thing where it's just like, oh, like, you know, you wouldn't have made it without me. I'm like, no, I actually would have. If you didn't open that door, someone else would have.
Possibly, yeah.
Exactly. So like, that's getting to that mindset where it's like you said, just having that that attitude where it's like, if you can't accept what I'm bringing to the table, that's cool. I'll find someone else who have. For sure. And that's the thing where it's like, now, like, if other opportunities that open up, I'm just like, yeah, no, I don't really need this.
Yeah. It's like one of those things that I've always talked about here and there. Is just like, it's just a standard.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of standard are you setting for yourself in every avenue? Like, your attitude, how you approach situations, how you walk into a room,
100%.
how you walk past people. Like, every time I walk past people, like, they're always like, I see their head fucking.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, what do you do? Like, walk with your head up, your chin to the sky. Like, get ready to fucking attack the world. Like, walk with some confidence. Like, you're like proud and you're like proud to be alive and like you feel good.
And that's exactly
like, people like just like curl up.
You want to sleep?
Oh yeah? What happened? What'd you do?
I just watching a couple of videos
on how to make it not stop.
Yeah, so like if I record straight into like that hard drive there, it should go without.
So what happens? Does it like just like stop recording or what?
It's so like, remember I was telling you it has like a record limit.
Yeah.
So this kind of bypasses that because it's recording straight into the thing.
Why does it have a limit though?
That's just how they made the cameras then.
Then how old is it?
Well, it's not that old. It's just like they didn't want to. Because the way like most camera companies work, they make money based on like, you know, being able to sell different models. For sure. So that now they are newer models like that.
Okay, so this is it was a limited one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so like limited, like a subscription type thing where they give you a couple features, and you pay more, you get more, and you pay more. Oh yeah, okay.
Which is like, because I mean, this is a relatively new camera. It's like on the cinema line. Okay. But it's like
is that like a new line?
Yeah, it's like basically it's like smaller like film camera style.
Like how old would you say, like 2017, 18, 19?
No, this is like 2020, 2021.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, so it's like, it's pretty new.
Yeah.
But it's like obviously like they just want to make more money. So like after this, there's like 4 or 5 other cameras that came out.
Yeah. Oh, in a 2-year span? These guys are sneaky with it, eh?
Yeah.
Hey, that's how you make money, I guess. Fuck, us consumers, we eat that shit up. How's your weekend, man?
It was good, man.
Today's a great day. We got our first win today, so you know I'm in a great mood.
I can see.
I wasn't as emotionally distraught. It was against Carolina, so like Carolina's whatever. We all know, probably like bottom 3 team in the league. Yeah. But it's the NFL regardless, so let's not like act like we're beating a JV team here. Yeah. But it was a good game, close game. We were down 7-0 early, then we were down 13-7, and then 14 unanswered points. Yeah. And then we were able to hold them off at the end, sack them. 4th down, 4th and goal, a couple seconds left. Yeah. Got the dub, baby. It was great. Great morning. Yeah. Great morning. And then Ravens won. You know, remember I was watching the game last time. Ravens lost last week, so I was kind of cheesed that both the teams lost. But Ravens killed the Browns. I think it was 27-3 or 28-3.
But it's also the Browns, though.
It's 28-3. No, but the Browns aren't bad. The Browns are 2-1. Now they're 2-2.
Yeah,
but their offense is slacking. Yeah. Their defense is good, but Deshaun's not where he was, and I don't know if he's ever going to get back to that. But
my fantasy team is getting just rocked
who you
right
fantasy
now.
With? You don't even fucking know it. What do you know about football, dog?
Hey, listen, I know.
No, what do you know about football?
Listen, I watch a little bit. You know?
What do you know about football?
A little bit.
Name 4 people on. Name 3 people on Dallas Cowboys defense.
Micah Patterson, I think.
Parsons. How dare you? He's arguably the best defensive player in the league.
Yeah, I know, but it's
top 3, and you're gonna say Patterson. Okay, that's one.
What? That's
one.
Yeah,
that's it. That's all you got, huh? That's all you got. You're like a girl. It's like, name some basketball players. Kobe Bryant. What?
No, that's different.
Is it? Not to me. Not to me. Micah Patterson.
Listen, in my defense, I grew up.
So why are you playing fantasy? That's what I'm wondering.
It's fun, bro. Like with the homies, you know.
Yeah, but like the fun part is about like knowing what you're doing and like being able to compete at like a good level. But if you're just like in it just to be in it.
See, the thing is, that's the thing with fantasy sometimes. Yeah. The guy in our group who won it knows nothing about football.
Really?
Absolutely nothing. It drives us crazy.
Most people in your fantasy must not know anything if you let a fucking rookie win.
It's not even a rookie. It's just like it's. A lot of it too is who you have on your fantasy, and then half of it too, like a lot of people just like last season just got fucked with like injuries. Like, cause think about this season, right? Yeah. Nick Chubb is out. a bunch of people out right now. Mm-hmm. And then like there's people on suspension too, so you can draft them.
Yeah,
but you can't play them. So it's like
that's the business, man.
And also sometimes you might have a player might have a good week and he's on the bench, and then you're screwed because the person you thought would have a good week doesn't have a good week. So it's like a numbers game.
You literally just described what fantasy football is. That's very well, very good. Very good.
See? So I do know a little bit, you know?
No, but I'm saying, like, everyone knows, how do you score points? Well, if you have a good player that's injured, he can't get you any points. And
no, but I'm saying, for example, okay, let's say you have...
Imagine this. So, like, what you just described in terms of, like, your friend winning it, it's like, what if there was, like, a videography or, like, a photography competition, and I just picked up my iPhone, and I was like, let me take a couple pictures, and I won it. How pissed would you be?
No, but that's different, though.
How pissed would you be, though? If I told everyone that, I was like, hey, I went into a competition with a bunch of people who know what the fuck they're doing, and I won, they'd be like, what kind of JV competition or what?
That's different,
Is
though.
it?
Like,
How so?
Because I feel like fantasy, there's an element of luck in it sometimes.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, so it's like you sometimes it's just like...
But there's not so much luck that someone who knows nothing about football would win if there's other people in the group that know about football. That's very, 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 very
well,
rare.
fantasy is different too, because I mean, it also depends, for example, what slot you got in the draft. So, for example,
how'd you guys pick positions?
It was like randomized.
Oh, that's whack.
Yeah,
See, like when we got it, if you ever do it again, like people, like some of my homies, they fucking take that shit seriously. They like all meet up and do all this shit. I've seen some dope ones online where they're like doing like a 40-yard dash.
Yeah.
Whoever wins gets first pick. So like, yeah, just letting the computer do it.
We should
it's
actually
a
do that.
Couple basic. What, you trying to do a 40-yard sprint? 40-yard dash? Bro, you pop both your hamstrings.
Wow.
Bro. You would pop both your hamstrings. When's the last time you sprinted full speed? Realistically.
No,
what
it's been
year?
a minute. Yeah, it's been a while.
How long's like full speed? Like 3, 2, 1, go! And you're just boom, out the gates, all out.
Probably when I was playing rugby.
No, I'm saying like what year? How long ago? How many years?
2018 maybe.
God, 5 years ago. You haven't sprinted full speed in 5 years.
But think about like, when was the last time you sprinted like full speed?
A couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay. I guess you like it's part of like your like workout routine, or
well,
like?
Of course.
Yeah. So
you don't sprint?
I don't sprint. Like I run.
You don't sprint?
Like, listen, we gotta build up. I just started running again. Okay?
No, we don't sprint. You gotta sprint, baby.
Nah.
Especially if you're at the track and you do like intervals.
Yeah.
You like do it fast. Like maybe it's not 100% all out.
Yeah.
But it's like 80%.
Yeah.
But then usually when you do like longer runs, it's like a 30-40% effort thing.
Yeah.
In terms of speed, sprinting speed.
Yeah, I get it.
So what'd you do last night? We were supposed to go out last night.
I fell asleep. I ain't gonna lie.
Saturday. Where'd you fall asleep?
At home.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're saying at home like it's supposed to be known that it was at home.
I mean,
yeah.
Even if it wasn't at home,
you're out here in
I
the
wouldn't
streets,
be telling
dog.
us. Nah, bro.
Why not?
Nah.
Yeah. You're in the streets.
Nah, the streets ain't for me.
Yeah. Who they for?
The niggas in the street. I'm just out here by the porch.
Yeah.
You know, like at Mardi Gras, those guys who be throwing like the beads and stuff
From the balcony.
From the balcony. That's me right there. I'm just like, enjoy the streets, brothers.
Yeah. But you're not actually down there, eh?
No.
When was the last time you were down in the streets? Fresh off the breakup?
Nah, I took a couple months, chilled.
And then you went back in the streets, see how it was?
Saw it was. Took a peek. I'm like, oh, nope.
Took a peek, you didn't like it, eh? You didn't like the landscape? What about it? Hard to get dates out here?
It's not even that. That's the easy thing.
Oh. What's the hard part?
It's just finding people you can actually tolerate.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
Bunch of stupid bitches out here, eh?
I wouldn't say it's just not my. I think a lot of it's just like you realize how wild it is and how desperate, and you also realize. I think I'm at a stage where like
What do you mean desperate? How desperate is it out there? And like for whom? Who's it desperate for? Like, is it desperate? Like women are desperate for good guys, or like guys are desperate for good girls, or they're just both desperate for each other?
I think it's different levels of desperation. Especially like now going into the wintertime, where some women
cuffing season, baby.
They've had their hot girl summer, blah blah blah, and then it's like because seasonal depression is a thing,
Is it?
It is a thing.
It's not a fucking thing.
It is a thing,
you're
bro.
You're pussy.
I'm telling you,
you're pussy.
No, bro. Like
hey,
listen.
if you're pussy. If you think that because the fucking winter, because it goes from summer to fall, you get depressed, I think you're a pussy.
No, listen, it's the change in environment. It's not.
And boo fucking who? What are you talking about? Oh, it's not as sunny, so I'm depressed now. Get the fuck out of here. I can't stand that shit, man. You guys continue to do your thing, and yeah, you want to be upset because there's a little gray outside, it's not real. People just act like it's real. No, it's not real.
Scientific stuff, though.
Fuck that. Show me it. Show me right now.
I don't have it right now.
Show me scientific. Show me it. We'll put it on the screen. I want to see scientific evidence.
We'll put it up, and then I'll show it to him afterwards.
And then what is it? So, okay, you don't even have to show it to me.
Yeah.
Like, explain it to me. What scientifically have they proven?
That our bodies are not intaking as much vitamin C, and you can't supplement it.
Vitamin C, I think it's vitamin D.
Vitamin D, whatever it is.
First of all, you can't be referencing stuff and not knowing what you're talking about, sir.
Well, that's why I said I had to show
vitamin
it to
C.
you.
What is that? Like drinking orange juice? What are we talking about?
No, it's like the actual suns from like.
That's vitamin D, sir.
Yeah, vitamin D.
Okay.
Like, so it's like you can take supplements for it, but it's not the same as actually like, you know how, for example, like you can take supplements to like. That's why it's called. It's a supplement. It's supposed to like help you with it, not replace you eating food, right?
For sure.
Yeah, so it's kind of like that, where it's like you can replace like the actual sun's rays by like taking supplements.
100%. But I think that if the sun starts to slowly go away a little bit, I think that supplementing with vitamin D is a good idea, and I don't think it would have any effect on your mental state. Like, what exactly does it do on your mental state?
So, for example, there's a documentary on Netflix. It talks. Zac Efron and another guy, they're on it, and they went around the world and they would like explain like there's this one city in Italy that had the largest number of centurions, so people over 100, and then they were like going around. They was like, what is it particular about this group of people that made them live longer? So it was one of them like being the exposure to the sun is a big thing, like what they eat, exercise, like movement, that type of thing. So it is a thing.
What does living longer have to do with depression?
It's the, what is it? Your state of happiness. Not even like with things that just like, but I can't remember what it's called. Like what they said. Like I'm not describing it well. Like I'll send you the documentary, and then but it's like it's talking about like the state of, because for example, it's like it's a thing too. Like it's scientific. Like when excuse me, when older people. When they've been married for a long time, and then one of either the wife or the husband dies, there's been a stat that within 2 or 3 years, like that one would die.
Yeah.
Because
even
of
faster than that sometimes.
Yeah. So because of like, so it's something like that where it's like just the environment that you're in.
No, that's different. The environment and like a human being where your whole life is attached to. So like, for example, is like the example that you just gave was an old lady. You've probably been with them for 20, 30, 40 years where you don't know life anymore without it. You've had twice, like let's say you've met at 20 years old. Once you guys are 60, that means you're together twice as long
it's called
from when you met.
Broken heart syndrome. That's what it is.
But like that makes sense because like you don't even understand or know life anymore without that person. So as soon as that's gone, it's like life is gone.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. But because it goes a little less sunny, you're going to be seasonally depressed, and all of a sudden now you don't want to do anything and don't feel like doing anything and stop doing stuff.
This is what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's an excuse, but it
no.
is a fact.
Like when people use depression, it's definitely an excuse.
Oh, it's debatable.
Well, let's debate it.
Yeah. I don't think it's an excuse.
Stance?
Like I can see why people get depressed in certain states, right?
For what? Like what? Give me an example.
Like, for example, a breakup. Like it's
that's different. Like an example with the weather. I'm not saying you can't be depressed. I'm saying seasonal depression, which means the changing of seasons is bullshit.
Look at the difference in the atmosphere, like when it's summertime and when it's wintertime.
Like you mean in terms of like what people are doing?
People are doing just the energy. The energy is different, and you can't even dispute that.
Well, of course, it's like hibernation. Like animals hibernate. They're not going to be out fucking looking for food when it's wintertime. They're going to be.
But it's exactly like that. Like
But it's not. Like I understand activity-wise, but I'm saying mentally, using the word depression, I think that's bullshit.
Well, it's. Again, I'm not describing it properly because I'm not well versed in this.
Neither am I.
But what I'm saying
I'm well versed in bullshit. I'm very well versed in bullshit. I've seen a lot of it.
I think I can. I guess I'll speak from my experience. Having moved here and lived here for about 9 years now.
Yep.
Because I was living in a place that had 4 seasons. So, for example, when we get rain, it's like it'll rain and it'll be like cloudy, but it won't be like raining for like 8 months on the year. So we have 4 seasons. So we have summer, autumn, spring, and I can't remember what that one is. Right? Winter. Yeah, exactly.
Hold on. Did you not remember all 4 seasons just now?
Hey, listen.
And I'm pretty sure, I'm just going to put it on the record that we have 4 seasons here too. Like, I'm pretty sure we have a winter and we have a spring and a summer and a fall.
But it's different, like, in the northern hemisphere. Like,
I understand, like, the timing of it. Like, let's say, I'm pretty sure, like, our winter is, like, Australia summer or, like, somewhere else's summer. Like, I get that. It's
not
maybe
even that,
time.
but it's, like, just the level of, like, what winter is very different. Like, for example, like, our spring won't be like spring here where it's, like, you know, it's raining still.
What would it be like?
It'll be like, it's just colder, but it's not like raining. Like,
well, yeah, that's going to be depending on where you are, right? Because we're like the west side is obviously like LA is a little different, but like Seattle, Portland, us, like we're all like there's rain at certain times, and we basically know when there's going to be rain. Every place is going to be different, but what I'm saying is that almost every place has 4 seasons. At least the places
but
that
the thing is,
we
it's
know.
like, for example, okay, like winter here and like fall, right? It's raining the whole time.
No, it's not. I don't think so.
It is.
No. How long you lived here for?
9 years. I'm
crazy. I've lived here my whole life.
So, what I can't remember what the stat was. I think it was not this year, but there was like, I think where it rained for like continuously a certain amount of days.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the actual amount was.
Yeah, I think they broke a record or something like that.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's like that in other places, like for example, like having lived in Zimbabwe, we didn't have that. We would have like 6 months of continuous rain.
Yeah.
And it's not even like rain where it's like, it'll rain, but it'll be like sunny like this, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like it's cloudy and gloomy all the time, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm not saying like that's like the only reason why people are depressed, but that change in atmosphere does create a different atmosphere, right?
No, but you said seasonal depression is real, which basically you're saying like someone is normal, and then because of the change in season, they get depressed.
I'm not saying that's the full reason, but it has like an impact.
What's the other reasons?
I don't know. It could be like just like the life going to shit, right? Like
but you said, but you wouldn't say seasonal depression. Then you would just say like the person's depressed because they're going through a bunch of shit in their life. But like when you say seasonal depression, that means that the only thing that changed in your life was the season, and that caused you to be more depressed. Isn't that what seasonal depression is? Like when someone says seasonal depression, it's depression caused by the change in seasons.
Okay, let me look up what the actual definition is, because I don't want to be out here saying the wrong thing.
Don't say the wrong thing. It's about when you're having a discussion or you're standing on your beliefs, being able to articulate them. So like if you say seasonal depression, what I take from that is someone gets depressed. Like there's different levels of it, obviously. It could be a tiny bit, it could be a lot, whatever the case may be, but for everyone it's the same, and once the season changes, it causes depression.
Well, it's okay, here's what the definition is. I think this might help. It happens during certain seasons of the year, most often fall and winter. It is thought that shorter days and less daylight may trigger chemical change in the brain, leading to symptoms of depression.
And sorry, can you explain symptoms of depression, or can you look it up?
Okay.
Let's go to symptoms
of depression.
Yeah. Here we go. Poor concentration, feelings of excessive guilt or low self-esteem, hopelessness about the future, thoughts about dying or suicide, disrupted sleep, changes in appetite or weight, feeling very tired or low in energy. Those are the major depression symptoms. So disrupted sleep, that could be a lot of things. Changes in appetite or weight, that can also be a lot of things. Tired, low energy, I guess, yeah. Because anytime it's cooler, like people feel more tired.
Yeah.
Like if you're at the house and it's hot, you're not fucking yawning. But like when it's like chill and you're like wrapped up in covers, like, and all of a sudden you're like,
so it's not like it leads to, but it can trigger feelings of depression. I think that's what it is.
I'm not a big believer in letting like anything external change your mood. And like obviously there's certain things like a passing away of a parent or something like that where it's like okay, but like in terms of stuff like that that's like out of your control to the most degree. and that are so slight and little that shouldn't. I'd never believe. Like, I'm like, every time it rains, I love it because everyone gets lazy and no one wants to do anything, and it makes life so much easier. Because I'm like, I already like step on people's necks.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's not like, I'm not then saying that, that should then like, give people like, like it just happened. Like for example, even before you walked into it, I was just had a conversation and I was pretty annoyed with something. But because of them, like, we're filming this, and this has nothing to do with you, I can then be like, let that sip into like what we're doing. So even like you might have noticed when you came in, I was a little, I was like, fuck, I can't let this shit affect the other shit I'm doing. So I'm saying it is a trigger. I'm not saying like it's an excuse or people.
Do you know what that's called?
What?
Not letting that seep into anything else that you're doing.
I guess I don't know.
It's called being a professional.
Yeah. So and that's what I'm saying. Where it's like I'm not saying it's in like an excuse. I can't then be like, oh, I can't come to work because it's cold, right?
Of course.
Right? You still have to get shit done, and it's all like just like a matter of perspective, right? But it's like I'm saying, it's like you can, like there's certain environments that make it easier to work or to do certain things. That doesn't mean it's an excuse.
For sure. I just think that ignoring it in general, I think ignoring it in its totality is a lot better, especially if you're going to say it's not an excuse.
Yeah.
Like, why even bring it up? Why even admit that it exists if you know that you still have to get shit done?
Well, I think it's not about ignoring. I think it's about dealing with. Like, ignoring it is like it's.
But like some people deal with it by like not showing up.
Yeah, that is the wrong way of dealing with it, right? And that's the thing. Like I've even said this to you. There's nothing wrong with the emotions. It's what you do with the emotions, right? For example, I can be angry at a certain situation, right? I need to understand why I am angry, but because I am angry, I can't then just be like, go off at the world because I'm angry, right? That's not a justification. So I think that's the problem where it's like, I think now a lot of what it is, because I can see yours, I can see where we would differ in opinions, where it's like, there's nothing wrong with the emotions. It's what you do with the emotion.
And it's not even that. It's about having emotional control.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. That's what emotional intelligence is.
I don't think that when you let an external factor trigger your emotions, you're having emotional control. And I don't think just because, like, oh, Stanley said something that pissed me off, but I didn't react, but inside you're still dealing with it, I still don't think that's a emotional control. I don't think you're in control of your emotions, because the control of your emotions is that you're able to feel something or not feel something based on what you decide. So like, for example, if someone cuts me off in traffic, I can decide whether that pisses me off or not, and like let it actually internally, not like obviously I could show some control by not letting it externally like show. But if it's internally, I'm bubbling up, or fucking someone did something, and inside I'm just like, like the fucking guy, I told him so many fucking times, he keeps fucking doing it. And inside, but then I'm like, hey, da da da, and I'm acting like everything's okay. I don't think that's emotional control. I think emotional control is not letting it affect you at all. I think that if someone does something that would typically get me angry, and it doesn't get me angry because I chose not to let it get me angry, I think that's emotional control.
Well, and that's the thing, I agree. I think there's another layer to it. It's like, it's knowing what that feeling is, and then knowing why you got triggered in the first place, right? So for example, if I know, okay, like there's certain example, like for driving in traffic is a bad example. It's like, for example, if I'm around a certain group of people, and just knowing that me being around, I'm going to be emotionally triggered by whatever the emotion is, I would have to distance myself from those people, right? That's what emotion tends to, being able to understand what that emotion is, and then knowing what triggers it, and also not letting it take control, right? But then there's certain situations where it's like, for example, in work environments, right? Like you remember being at work, there's always that one coworker you don't like, but you can't then just like react every single time, right? So it's like, you know what that feeling is, and you're like, fuck, I can't react the way I want to react, because it's unprofessional. And that's the thing, is like, that's what emotional intelligence is. A lot of people think it's ignoring it. It's a layer of like not letting it overtake what you need to do, but also acknowledging that feeling is there.
For sure.
Because it's a natural reaction. Like, being angry is like your body's responding to something, whatever the emotion is, right? I think too many people stay in that feeling and then don't deal with it.
I think too many people allow that feeling to occur in the first place. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, obviously there's two parts to it. There's your part that you're talking about, is like once you feel it, knowing what it is, why it was there, or what triggered it, and then being able to control it and control your actions so you're still in accordance with what you want to do and your certain setting. I'm saying not letting the emotion come up in the first place. And I think that's maybe the next level, like a level above. But I feel like that's the level that everyone needs to get to, because like no one could piss in my Cheerios. Yeah. Like I don't give a fuck. But like there's nothing that you can do. There's literally nothing you can do that would make me upset.
But that's the thing, and that's what I'm saying. Like because
and it's not because I love you. It's because like there's literally it's not because it's Stanley. I'm saying like I don't put enough into something where I would allow it to affect me that much. Where it's like if someone like I could even give you an example. I'd be like, okay, and what? I'm like I don't give people that kind of power.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think because again, knowing you and the conversations we've had, I can see how that has been. It's just like you've built on certain calluses, whereas the people can go the opposite way, where it's like they don't have that.
For sure.
Where it's like, and that's like for me, that's still something I've struggled with.
Yeah.
Where it's like I was on either ends. I'd be like super emotional.
Yeah.
And I'd just be like, fuck the world, let's burn everything. Right?
Yeah.
So I've had to learn to control that, right?
For sure. I think that's what, if people have issue with that, then that's all they should be focusing on.
Yeah.
Like that's what their everyday should be focused around. It's like, how can I gain emotional control and a bit of stoicism? Like I'm not like, obviously I get to decide when I want to be upset
100%.
and when I want to engage in a certain situation. So it's like if someone says something that's disrespectful, I know for a fact that it's me and a decision made. It's not me being out of control and snapping and be like, fuck this guy, and I'm like seeing red. It's more so like, should I engage? Do I feel like this person needs to get checked? Yeah. If I'm like, they're not worth my time, then I just ignore it. If I feel like, this person's done this enough and to enough people and hasn't been checked and feels like the consequences don't exist, that I will be the person to show them that the consequences do exist.
But that's what I'm saying. That's the level of like emotional maturity, and like again, like knowing your story and like the things that you've been through. I can see how you've developed that, right? A lot of people don't get that.
But I'm glad, and I totally understand, and everyone shouldn't like.
But it's not a pass then for like people to then like, because that's when it's like the whole thing. Even with like maturity being like, the older you get, the more mature you become. Like that is not.
No, correlate.
Yeah, it's like it's like in that's the thing. Like with even with emotions, it's like a body part. You have to exercise it, right?
I think for the majority, like whether it's 51% or 60%, I think for the majority, eventually there's an age that hits where they start caring about certain things that don't mean anything. Where I mean like the opinions of somebody, because like they've lost all their friends in the process. Where like at one point they're just like, fuck it, like I'm gonna start doing what I want to do because I've never been I'm always a proponent of being who you are, saying what you want to say, how it comes to you in your head. Like if I'm like, fuck this fucking idiot, or I'm like, I don't really like this guy, I'm basically saying the same thing, but I'm gonna say it the way I want to say it, because then I know that I'm being myself and I'm living my life. But as soon as that, fuck this guy, I don't fucking like him, and then I stop before I say it, and I'm like, how can I say it a bit more politely so it's like politically correct, or like people don't get offended, and I start like having this, and all of a sudden either I don't say it because like I missed the moment, or I do say it but in a way that's not really how I want to say it or express myself, then I'm not even really living my own life. Now I'm starting to live the life of what I think other people want to hear or should hear, or I'm acting in a certain way in certain situations that isn't how I want to act initially. I think the best thing to do is go say and do what you naturally would do and let the cards fall where it may.
Well, that's the thing. So
and I'm saying this, there's obviously certain situations where it's like you have to understand what you're trying to accomplish. Like if you're in an interview, yes, you're trying to acquire the job. So there's certain things that you know that you're gonna have to say and do and act in order to acquire that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about everyday situations where it's like everything that people like moves people want to make or things people want to say on an everyday basis, regardless of the situation, are being tailored to a way that's not natural for them. And I've never been a proponent of that. I say what I want, and I say it how I want, and then I just deal with the consequences. If me and you aren't friends after, that's fine. If me and you are friends after, that's great. But like I don't want to, because like now I'm second guessing myself, and that's the one thing I never want to second guess. I can second guess Stanley. I can second guess this person. But once you start second guessing yourself, it's game over, baby.
Well, and that's the thing. I completely agree with that. And that's the thing. It's like it's such an interesting thing to think about, because then again, like I say this, like I because we were talking about this other day, like reading like 48 Laws of Power.
Yeah.
And where it was like, one of the things it was talking about was based on like, like medieval times where like there'll be kings and queens, right? And they'll be like weak as kings, but the people actually making the moves was the guy like second in command, right?
Yeah.
But because he's
like
born,
Biden.
Because he's born into power.
Yeah.
For example, it's like you run the gym, right? I work under you, right? There's certain things where it's like, if let's say you were fucking up, I can't come to you and be like, bro, if you're a normal person, you are different, but if you're the average person, I can't come to you and be like, you're a fucking idiot and you're messing up. Right? There's certain ways that you go about certain situations, right? But that's what I'm saying, because you are that type where if I came to him like, hey, Daniel, I think we need to do this a little differently, it'll be reciprocated different. But because you have that high level of emotional intelligence where it's like, me coming to you and having that conversation, you recognize it's not
you attacking me.
Attacking. It's like more like, but a lot of people, like the general populace, are not like that.
Oh, of course.
So that's when like sometimes and then it's like, it's not biting.
And I have such a hard time with that. I have the hardest time with that because I'm not around people like that. That's the hardest time. Like, that's why COVID was so hard, because like you started seeing sides of people that I haven't seen. I'm just like, oh, I forgot people are like this. Like, some people are just fucking dicks.
And this is what
some people are just so self-conscious, and some people are just so like, they have no backbone, and they have no honor, and they have no courage, and they're whispering things in the back like, oh yeah, like I don't believe in the vaccine, I don't believe in da-da-da-da. But then like in public, they're fucking standing in line and like, in pecking order. And it's just like, bro, but like, why are you wearing a mask when you said masks are stupid?
And I think that's because
like you're fake, you're phony.
That's what it is. And like that's like part of what my frustration was earlier when I was in that state, when I was having this conversation with my neighbor, and like we were shooting, we're just talking, especially just like being in that freelance industry, like the shit that we have to deal with. We're just talking about like, dude, like we're just tired of people waiting for people to give us a seat on the table, and just like making our own table. And like you are in that space where it's like you can run your business the way you want, you can do the way things you want. And like, for example, and it's happened a couple of times, there's people who've disagreed with things that you've done at the gym, and you're like, cool, but this is how I run it. If you want to be here, but it's like, again, not many people have that control, and it takes time for you to like build to that. And that's what I'm like, you have that freedom to do that. That's what I'm like trying to get to, right?
I don't even think people have like, I don't think it's people don't have that kind of control. I think it's just people have no standards. So like I've set a standard for myself that I do not negotiate with. Like it's just like, it's like the biggest thing. Like the people who make the most sales and the people who do the best are the ones who are willing to walk away from a deal. If you're never willing to walk away, you are always going to lose.
Well, and
so like that's a standard. Like it's either this or nothing.
And that's the thing. Like, but the thing is, you have to build up to it, and that's like I'm getting.
You don't have to build up to it. You started off at the beginning. You say, I'm not gonna. It's like I'm always gonna make my bed, or I'm never gonna have my car dirty, or every time I go out, I'm gonna dress with respect. Like, I want to dress my best every time I go out, because I never know who I'm going to meet when I go out, and first impression is everything. People don't have that standard.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. When I mean build up to it, it's like you need to even know that it's a problem, right?
Oh, okay.
That's what I guess build up to it was not the right word.
Yeah, you just mean like initiate.
You need to
know.
like acknowledge that is even a thing, right?
For sure.
So, and that's a lot of what it was too. Like right now, like what my frustration is, I'm in a lot of situations where I'm like, I've hit a ceiling, and just like certain things that I want to do, and I've reached that ceiling is because some of the stuff I want to do is being overseen by someone else. So I can't walk through that door unless that person is like the gatekeepers, exactly what that is, right? So now I'm at a point I'm like, fuck, I don't want to wait for the gatekeepers. I'm going to start doing my own shit. So that I don't have to, like, if it's fucked up, it's on me. And I'm not waiting for someone to open that door, give me a seat at the table type of thing, right?
For sure.
So, and a lot of it was like, so I was thinking, I was like, okay, why have I not gotten to that stage? And it's like, again, like me doubting myself and not betting on myself. And then there's certain situations that I've had where I'm like, I actually don't need this. I can walk away from this. It's going to be tough, but I can make it up in the long run, right?
And I also think that like when people bet on themselves, like it's only a win-win. Like you're either going to bet on yourself and you're going to win, or you're going to bet on yourself and you're going to lose, but at least you know you tried. And like you're not going to be like, oh, I wish I took that chance and like did it, because like you did try and you quit your job and you tried to do that fucking startup for fucking 13 months and it didn't work out. You just couldn't do it. And it's like, did you put your best effort? Who knows? Did you do the right things? Who knows? But you tried and it just didn't work out. And it's better than staying in the same job and being like, oh, I should have took that leap when I was 34 years old, whatever the case may be, right?
And that's the conversation I was having with my neighbor where we're talking about, like, again, like, we've now done certain things where it's like, we took those leaps of faith. We're doing that full time. A lot of people, it's like, fuck, how the hell do you make content full time? I'm like, I worked my ass off. I was working at Champs for a couple of years, saved up, got gear, like building up to it. Like even like now, I'm like a mini studio if I wanted to, right?
Yeah.
So it's like a lot of that where I'm just like, I've made that leap of faith before, and then you get that level of comfort, and you realize like, no, I got here because I got, like, again, people can help you along the way and open certain doors where I'm like, no, I got here because even for you to give me that opportunity was because you saw the shit that I did before that.
Yeah.
And there's this weird thing where it's just like, oh, like, you know, you wouldn't have made it without me. I'm like, no, I actually would have. If you didn't open that door, someone else would have.
Possibly, yeah.
Exactly. So that's getting to that mindset where it's like you said, just having that, like, that attitude where it's like, if you can't accept what I'm bringing to the table, that's cool. I'll find someone else who have.
For sure.
And that's the thing where it's like now, like, if other opportunities have opened up, I'm just like, yeah, no, I don't really need this.
Yeah. It's like it's like one of those things that I've always talked about here and there. Is just like, it's just a standard.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of standard are you setting for yourself in every avenue? Like, your attitude, how you approach situations, how you walk into a room,
100%.
how you walk past people. Like, every time I walk past people, like, they're always like, I see their head fucking.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, what do you do? Like, walk with your head up, your chin to the sky. Like, get ready to fucking attack the world. Like, walk with some confidence. Like, you're like proud and you're like proud to be alive and like you feel good.
And that's exactly
people like just like curl up and like, you know, like it's like, no, you want to be fucking
and this applies
chest out.
Yeah, and it applies to everything. Like, because even going back to what you're saying, it's like,
and you can feel it, man. It's an energy, bro.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like, you ask me like why I'm not in the streets. It's because of that. I have a standard for myself where it's like, I was in certain situations and just dating certain people. I'm like, even for me, it's like the standard I have is like, I'm not even at the standard of man that I want to be in.
Yeah.
So instead of me focusing on like finding that person, I'm working on myself.
Yeah.
So I can be that. So like, you know, when I'm like asking someone for a certain standard, it's like
you want to be able, you can uphold it.
Yeah, it's like when we talk about it, it's like we've always laughed about it, but like, I can't have a personal trainer who doesn't look jacked.
Yeah.
Or who doesn't look like physically like in that shape. Right? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no.
But that's the thing, like now, like what you said, like having standards, a lot of people don't have standards.
Yeah.
And they're just willing to accept anything.
Or their standards are too high and they don't know how to judge their standards. So like they'll set a standard that's way too high. I'm like, you can't maintain that because like if you, let's say you set a standard for like what kind of girlfriend you want or like what she looks like or how much money she makes or whatever. And it's just like, you can't obtain that. Like you're not in a position right now, at least to get that kind of person. So you may think there's no good people out there, but it's just no, maybe your standards are a little too high and you're reaching a bit, you know, you're punching out of your league, as they say. But standards is huge, man. Standards with how I think the biggest one for me is standards with how you dress. It doesn't have to be expensive clothing. It has to, it's all about what it looks like on you. Your for style, what it looks like. And I'm just like, if you don't look good, that's not a good thing. Because one, people want to talk to and do business with people who look good and put themselves together and have a standard for how they look. Because you can go out and you never know who you're going to meet. You can meet a person that's going to connect you with somebody who could change your life like that. But it's like, why would I like look at how he's dressed. This motherfucker's wearing pajamas out.
But it's not even, it's how you dress, but it's personal hygiene.
Yeah, it all encompasses. It all encompasses.
It's a lot of it too. It's like what you said. It's the weird thing where it's like
get a haircut, man. Every week and a half.
Even
every
for
10
me right
days.
now, I feel like my beard is wild. I'm just like, I called my barber yesterday. I'm like, yo, I'm pulling up on you on Tuesday because I know tomorrow's a holiday. I'm like, I can't. But
every 10 days.
Yeah.
Scrub your fucking lotion up. Fucking do your face. Line your beard up. Get it done. Get nice clothes. You don't have to be expensive. Just look nice. Look presentable. Every time you come out, I'm like, fuck, he's put together. Like he actually cares. Yeah. He looks like he cares about how he looks. And like people are like, oh, fucking, who cares? Like, yeah, that's why you're broke, and that's why no one wants to do business with you, and that's why no one wants to hire you, and that's why no one wants to do nothing with you, because you don't even give a fuck about yourself.
And the change is like how you, because even that environment, like remember I was talking about that environment too. It seemed like it happens even time. Like I've seen sometimes I come in like 4:30 or 5, and I'm like, I'm dressed nice because I'm like, listen, like I'm getting ready for my day.
That's right.
And I'm like, you know, like people are like, oh, why are you dressed? I'm like,
this is how it is. This is it.
Yeah,
there's no dress nice. This is the normal
default.
This is it.
right?
This is the fucking wavelength I'm on.
And it's crazy because I was thinking about it's like one of the perks of like having gone to a private school, I guess, in Africa, where it's like where we wore uniforms.
Yeah.
And one of the things they instilled in us is like you had to make sure like your uniforms were prepped, your shirt, everything.
Yeah,
it's like ironed everything, you know, like, and like there's even like, and we had like my school had a persona where it's like we walked to a certain style of swagger.
Yeah.
And it's like I see now with my friends who've gone to that school where it's like they're killing it in whatever thing that they're doing because it's like that, those little like pebbles that we were given, like that foundation was so solid where it's like, we all dress up nice. We all like wear colognes. We all like show up. It's funny, like whenever we show up as a squad, it's like, people can tell like we're friends, right? Even like when we go out, we dress up where it's like, even if we just like hang out.
That's my normal, but
yeah. But that's what I'm saying. It's like, for some people, it's not a normal, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
No, so that's like, my normal. If I'm not in the gym working, and even when I'm in the gym, but like if I'm not in the gym specifically, and I'm just like out for the day, like I'm wearing my normal clothes. I'm not just like sluggish around, slagging around, blah blah. I don't know who's gonna catch me out. I mean, Daniel, oh shit. Like people who wear pajamas and like just fucking people who don't do their hair. I'm like, bro, you can't brush your hair. Like you don't care that much. You can't brush your hair. And it's like, okay, don't brush your hair. Throw a hat on at least. Like, look presentable, man. At all times.
Yeah.
At all times. And there's no downfall of that, except you're fucking lazy.
Yeah.
And it takes a bit of work. But, like, there's a downfall in dressing like a fucking slob. There's a downfall for dressing like a bum. People don't want to talk to you. People don't respect you. Like, I can't remember who I was listening to, but, like, they did, like, this kid did an experiment where he, like, kind of dressed in his normal clothes, like they're a bit like hood, like whatever. He was wearing like Vans and like baggy sweatpants and like a fucking hoodie, and like would go into like the bank and like people would even like they just nod at him and da 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 da, and like he'd ask, "Oh, do you know where the like closest library is?" And they're just like, "Oh, so I think it's that way." And then he did it again, dressed up, and like went into these stores. People were like holding the door for him, and he's like, "Oh, do you know where the closest liquor store?" And they're just like, "Yeah, like okay, if you go straight and you take a right, like make sure you'll see a fucking superstore, past the superstore, and take two lefts, and it's right there." And like people just are more engaging and like a lot nicer and more open to like talking to you and like engaging with you. Yeah. Just based off of how you dress and how you look.
I agree with that, but I think even with that, there's a ceiling.
In terms of what?
There's a caveat to this. And like, for example, one of my favorite motivational speakers in general, he talks about that. He's
who?
Eric Thomas. He's high up there. Like I think he's probably might be making more money than Tony Robbins, or he's like there at par sometimes. And he's like, it's crazy because he had to say no to certain engagements because they'll be like, yo, you have to show up in a suit. But he's the one of those that show up with a hat, t-shirt. Like he's still well dressed, but it's not to the standard of like, oh,
yeah, for sure.
You know, so I think that's what the thing is, where it's like I get like. You have to look your best.
Yeah, but what you think is the best.
But I think it's certain
like your own style.
Yeah, for example, we could
like a suit and tie is not that. Yeah. People think it's just because you're wearing a suit and tie that you're put together. It's not for everybody.
But that's what the standard is, right? Like
it's not that anymore. I would not say it's that anymore.
In some situations, it still is.
I don't think, especially in like you see more traditional stuff like real estate and stuff like that. Like they're not expecting you to wear a suit and tie.
But that's easy to do, though, right?
What do you
that's
mean?
Easy to like. Imagine you showing up like this. If you're a lawyer, showing up like that. See, that's what I'm saying. There's certain industries that
showing up where though? Where am I showing up?
Showing up to court.
Well, no, because court there's a standard in certain places.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's like that's why I'm saying in certain things like some things have changed.
Yeah.
But there's a ceiling to that, right? You can still look good and still be professional, but you can't show up dressed like that to court.
What's the tracksuit? Of course not.
But that's what I'm saying.
But would you want to? Like, there's not that many people that would want to and that are good enough at their job where they're able to. Like, Eric Thomas can carry that because of how popular he is, how good at his job he is, how much he gets paid. Yeah. Then he can kind of shove the rules to the side. Yeah, we're talking about the everyday person.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about the everyday. Like I'm saying,
okay, well then most people are everyday though.
For example, if I'm
we got to talk about the majority, not the minority. Like we can't talk about the 1%. Cause like the 1% can basically do whatever the fuck they want. Well, I think like, hey, I either dress this way or I'm not doing your fucking speech.
Okay.
And they're just like, you can dress however you want.
Okay, but this is what I'm saying. This is an example. For example, like if you see like the level of quality work on my page, right? Mm-hmm. And then I show up to certain events where it's like, you know how I like to dress. I don't really like to wear suits and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
I'll still like. Suit?
I need to get one. The thing is, I have suits, right? But because my body has changed so much lately, they don't fit.
Like they're loose now?
No, like there's one that's like my arms are bigger now, so it's like super tight on my arms. So like the pants fit, like the pink checkered pants that I always wear, like, that is an actual suit.
Yeah.
And even has like a waistcoat and stuff. But I just can't wear it because the arm, like the moment I try to put my arms in it, it just.
Yeah, but you just have to get a new shirt, or even the blazer, the coat.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the coat, that's what I need.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm like, I need to now just like invest in like an actual tailored suit.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, for example, like I've shown up to a lot of events where it's like, that's what. It's like that Yale Town crowd, that super snobbish, like.
You think Yale Town's snobbish?
Yes, very snobbish.
You hang out in Yale Town almost every weekend.
And I absolutely hate it.
You don't like it?
No.
What about it?
It's the people. Some people. That's the thing. It's not everyone.
But like, who are we talking about? Like, not like names. I'm saying like, what kind of person? Like, are you talking about like if you go to like Elisa, or like if you are at?
It's not
club,
that. It's not specifically Yale Town itself, but I think it's the people. Some people that go there. I think there's a lot of people.
Well, I guess when you say Yale Town, it has to be Yale Town itself, because that's what attracts those people.
I think it's.
Because are you getting the same kind of people in Gastown?
It's different. It's like they're like more hipsters, right?
Where? Gastown?
It's like Main Street, like more hipsters, more like.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like the area is what attracts the people.
Well, and here's the tough thing, because I'm not trying to paint everyone in Yale Town with the same brush, right? It's more like there's certain. I think it's a type of persona.
It attracts a type of persona.
Yeah, where it's like people like are. They like higher end things, and then it's the people who actually own that stuff or can afford it don't. It's like, for example, when we talk about, like how like everyone's now just like wearing a mirror and like, mixing stuff up, right? The people with actual money and who are off that standard don't have to show that they have money. You can just like walk into, and that's what Eric Tom was saying. It's like when Warren Buffett walked, he was talking about this in a way he was at this event and Warren Buffett walked in. Yeah. He's like, he had a suit that looked like it was from Simon's. But because he's Warren Buffett, he doesn't have to prove that he has money.
So, like, the thing that I'm confused about the whole clothing thing, because like I'm into fashion and I love it, but like I don't understand like whether I walk in and it's a Carhartt T-shirt, or if I walk in and it's an Adidas T-shirt, or I walk in and it's a Burberry T-shirt. Yeah. I don't understand what the difference is.
The thing is, it's like there's some people who are buying those things to cover that they're not.
That they're what?
That they don't own, like they don't have that type of money, right?
So they're wearing the clothes to make you think that I have money when they actually don't.
Yeah. For example, the best example I can give is people will come to the club, buy bottles, right? You don't have to buy bottles. They're trying to live up to this persona, like the ego thing. And it's happened so many times where it's like, the bill comes and now people now scrounging like, yo, can you? But I'm like, why are you even pretending if you know? Because you know what's in your bank account. Yeah. So why are you trying to like buy this bottle?
For sure. So you're saying people are buying bottles that can't afford them?
There's a lot of people in Yale Town who are living these personas.
And like when the bottle's bought and it comes to the table and then it gets drank and then the bill comes, people are scrounging for money and they're just like, oh, who's pitching in? As opposed to like actually just like upfront paying for it like they would like a regular dinner.
And like, because we even talked about like, again, like there's some big hitters that I know, I've seen. And I'm like, and it's like, because again, I'm fortunate. I just have conversations with people, and people have this thing of just like having conversations. I've met some people. I'm just like, you wouldn't even know this guy owns like half the block, but they'll just come in super casual, like because again, like they don't have to show that they're money. It's like.
So, do you think that because people wear high-end things, it's only because they're trying to show that they have money?
No. That's not what I'm saying at all.
No, I know. I'm saying like, okay, so, but there are some people who do
there's
that.
Some people who is like.
So there's people on both sides of the spectrum.
Yeah,
then.
That's what I'm not just saying, and that's why I said. I said it's not everyone. That's why I'm not trying to paint everyone. It's like.
But like when you talk about only one, it sounds like you're saying that. Yeah. So like if you're saying, oh, people are only wearing Amiri and fucking gallery department because. They're trying to show that they have money when they really don't. No. When the rich guys I know aren't wearing that stuff, but you would never know that they own the whole
and that's
block.
what I'm saying. It's like this.
So you're basically saying rich people don't wear that stuff and poor people do.
No, that's what I'm saying. There's like it's on a spectrum. Like for me, for example, right? I spend a lot of money on my rings, right? You could spend money on other things, right? I just like to spend it on certain things, right? To some people, like, oh, like why would you spend $300 on the ring? I'm like, I just like that, right? Yeah. So I'm not saying it's everyone is on a spectrum, right? There's some people I've seen who have money who like to dress in those things. I'm like, oh, I have the money, I can afford it. It's cool, right? And then there's some people I'm like, dude, you're wearing an Amiri shirt that's like probably whatever the amount, and I saw you last week struggling to pay a bill.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So just live within your means. And the thing, like you said,
but I don't even give them advice of that. I'm just like, you're gonna feel it eventually.
And that's the thing. It's like, again, a lot of it too. It's because I've seen with a lot of guys, it's the ego of like, oh, like women want a guy who does that. But
then once they get you, it's like makeup.
This is what my thing is. And that's like, I think, and that's what we were saying. We're saying a lot of people need to show up just as they are. Because even for me, I'm just like, for the longest time, I didn't have a couch. Anyone I was talking to, I'm like, listen, this is where I'm stayed out. I don't have a couch. Like,
how'd that go?
Didn't actually have that much of an impact. You'd be surprised.
Not that I thought it would. I'm just like, it's just interesting. Like, I wouldn't, for someone to even tell me that, I'd be like, okay, all right.
Yeah, and it's not, and the thing is, it's not like I'm like broke. At that time, like financially, the things I needed to pay off, I was like, I'd rather just pay this off faster, and I'll get it later. And I also wanted something that fit my style, right? So it took a while to get it.
Yeah, I'm not too, I don't know. I'm not so, not that you are or other people are. I just don't ever give a fuck about what people spend their money on. Like, if I see someone with wearing, like, nice clothes, like, if they look nice, great. And I'm like, oh, that fit is fucking hit.
Yeah.
But then, like, just because it's designer, like, I'm not like, oh, he's wearing a Miri shirt, he has money, or.
Yeah. For me, the comment that I made wasn't even like that it's just the personas that they have.
Yeah. Because you would know, especially, like, in like, for example, how they would act, like if they're nursing one drink all night, it's either they're not drinking or they can't afford to buy drinks.
Yeah.
And it's like, but you've been here for 4.5 hours and you're like having 2 drinks.
Yeah.
So it's either you're not drinking and you're driving, or you're not drinking because you don't drink and you're just trying to keep it chill, or you don't have enough money.
Yeah.
But yet you're wearing like super expensive pants that you probably only bring out when you're going out and you don't wear it on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Like the difference is, like, so like for example, for like someone like me, like wherever I go, I'm just wearing my normal clothes, whatever it is. I just like look at my closet, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna wear this is this. But like a lot of people do that where it's like, oh, I'm going out to gallery tonight, gotta make sure I wear my, you know? And I think that's where the issue is, because like they're just like, oh, I'm only saving this Balenci shirt for these certain scenarios where people could see me and think that I'm something.
And that's what I'm saying. That's where like the ego thing was coming in, where it's like
a lot of people. Yeah, and I guess that's a lot in Yale Town.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, we're taking a break from going out, but I'm like next time we do go out, I'll just point them out, and I'm like, you can tell, like, I'm like, that guy right here. I'm like,
but no money.
Not no money, but pretending.
Fair enough.
Because like I'm saying, it's
when
like,
I say no money, I don't mean he has $0.
Because it's like, for example, like if you are jacked, you don't have to pretend you're jacked.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's the people overcompensating for something, right?
Fair. It's very interesting because, like, it's a game. It's like a kind of a game where people are a little bit like insecure, but then also it may not be insecurity. It may be like posturing, and then sometimes it may not be posturing. It may just be that's how they dress.
Yeah.
And then it could be, that's not how I dress, but I'm trying to pick up girls. So I think girls like it. It's like there's so many different angles you can kind of attack it from. I don't think it's all in one.
No, but then that's the thing. I was just saying it's just there's just a
certain type of person.
Yeah. I'm not saying because you're wearing an Amiri shirt, you have no money. What I'm saying is the persona attached to that person, right? Because I like to dress nice too, right? Like I wear fedoras. People like always think my shit is like super expensive, but I'm like, it's really not that expensive. Well, my rings, right? So it gives a certain persona to it.
Yeah.
But because like, a lot of it's like, oh, like, and you get what I'm saying, where it's like, you know, like people like will see you and then have a conversation like, oh, you're not what I thought, right?
Yeah.
And then there's people who are just like, you look at them, they're wearing something and they just like, remember it's like the conversation we're having with one of the hosts at Paula, it's like there's just certain people where it's just like, we don't even let them in anymore because they're just so rude and you can tell they're just a dickhead. And it's
with the girls?
Yeah, and it's like not even just like girls, but guys in general. It's like, it's get to a point where like when you're in like a service-based business, you read people and you see it so often where it's like, you can kind of tell like
they're gonna be like
the triggers where it's like where it's like there's certain behaviors that certain have.
Because I remember I was like when we were sitting down, I was like, oh, they've been leaving those people outside forever, and they like dead last, like dead last. They like pulled everybody in except them. Yeah, and I was like, I wonder why.
Very and remember when it's like because she even said, she's like, there's people who will walk in, do not even expect, like they'll be like dressed super calm, will leave a nice little tip, and then the people are like, oh, you think have certain type of money because of how they're dressed?
Yeah.
Won't even leave a tip.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, fucking tips get you though, man. I gotta fucking start fixing my tipping. My tipping's, I don't know. I gotta fix my tips. Tips are bullshit now. I'm gonna start being a little more chintzy. You need to put some work in. I keep giving out fucking tips like it's nothing, and like everywhere. I gotta stop doing that. It's just because like now it's starting to not mean anything.
Yeah.
And like the whole point is like you charge me for a service, or you charge me for my food, or you charge me for whatever, a product, and then that's what I'm paying for.
Yeah.
So a tip on top of that, I have to get something on top of what I'm getting in order for me to tip on top of what I'm paying.
That's what a tip was.
I know. I don't know what happened. Ever since like fucking COVID or something, man.
No, it's a Northern American thing. Because even I think in Europe, I don't think people tip. Because even other parts.
No, they don't. Other parts in the world, some people take it as disrespect.
It is. Because I'm supposed to be giving you good service anyway. A tip is just like, oh, you actually went above and beyond. Yeah,
that's what I'm going to start looking for that now. I got to stop. Because like I usually give, like minimum restaurants is 20.
Yeah.
And then if it's good, it'll be like 25, 22, 25. But I got so into doing it that like I'd even start evaluating the service. And then even when you get bad service, you feel bad for not tipping. Because I think I've been so used to it. So I'm like, now it's done. Anybody, you heard it here first. If you don't give me that extra, little sauce on top, that little extra caveat, can't do it anymore. I got to cut you off.
And that's what my thing is.
You get like 10%, bro. I'll give you 10%.
There's a lot of places, like fine dining places in the city where I'm just like, your food was so crap. The service
or the
was terrible.
Waitress, and like you get some old ass waitresses that are like in their 60s, and they just like feel like they're like too good to like be serving somebody so young, being able to pay for whatever, like a $400, $500 dinner. So they like have like this like snarky attitude, and like, oh, I'm like, bro, like it is what it is. I'm polite. I'm one of the most polite people. Like I say thank you all the time. I say please, please, please. I'm like, thank you so much. Like, I really appreciate it. Like all the time. So like, if I'm gonna give a tip, one, I don't want attitude. Two, I want to be able to read that you're attentive. Best place. You want to hear best place? Best service ever in the city, hands down, by far. Any restaurant I've ever been in my fucking life. Ask for Luigi. No wait. Savio Lope. Sorry, I fucked up.
I was gonna say, yep.
Ask for Luigi's great. Yep. Don't even. no. Ask for Luigi's great. Best service ever.
100%.
Savio Lope. Like I left and I was like, whoever's running that needs to like do that as a side gig. Yeah. It's like when a restaurant opens, they need to be the person to come in and train their staff on how to do it properly, and do that as like a counseling or like I swear to God, as soon as I left, like I've been there a couple times, but like especially the last time I went, I was like, I literally put my drink down, pick up my phone, slide it open, my fucking drink's gone. Yeah. It's like boom. And boom, also, boom. Even when they check in, as soon as we're done our plate, we're putting our forks down to finish our appetizer. Fucking right over my shoulder. Excuse me, boom. We'll get you guys new plates. Like boom, boom, boom. And then you see them walking around. They're just eyes everywhere. Eyes on plates, eyes on tables, eyes on hands, eyes on cups, eyes on drinks, filling up the water, replacing drinks. Boom, boom, boom. These guys are like on it. Like 20 out of 10. I couldn't even like how they always say like Deion Sanders is like the best corner ever, and because he's arguably the best player, because between him and the second best corner, there's such a big gap. Yeah, there's no one else. Like there's like you could say Jerry Rice and you could say Randy Moss, but they're like very close. That gap. It's literally Savio Lope, and I could even tell you who's second.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Where it's like,
because
even when they check in on you, it's not even like the other restaurants where it's like like your mid bite and they check.
No timing, perfect. 100%. Timing, everything. I can't I literally I was like, I felt so good leaving. I was like, they need to start a side business. Like that's what I would do. I'd start a side business.
I think they have a second.
They do. They just open. I think they're just opening it.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Even if it's like that's.
I think it's
I don't mind spending money there. It's a place I've gone. I've never been disappointed. The food is great.
Just
the
off
service.
Kingsway. I think it's on. Yeah, just off Kingsway.
Because that's what I was gonna say. Like for me,
I can't even say it properly. Katrina always gets mad at me when I say it. Savio Lope.
Yeah. Osteria Savio Lope.
Yeah, fucking amazing.
Great food.
20 out of 10 service. Food's 10 out of 10. Yeah. Like Aperol Spritz on point. It's I think it's all family owned. Yeah. It's all the same people there every time. I never see any new people.
I'm only cheese now because now the to make reservations almost 3 weeks ahead now.
Oh, easily.
Yeah. So
easily.
I made a little reservation for November, so I got
with who?
Don't worry about it.
What?
Don't worry about it.
Not me?
No.
With who?
We need to go, though.
No, with who?
We'll I'll take you out for dinner.
You gonna take me?
Yeah, I'll take you.
All right, you paying the bill?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, you know I'm expensive, baby. You know I gave me a couple of drinks.
I know. That's why I said let me.
You the boy can put them back.
Yeah.
But we can't do it in Sober October because Sober October is official. But
yeah.
If you guys haven't been, Savio Lope, hopefully they can hook your brother up with
best Italian food.
Best, one of the best.
And
you know
it's 10
like out of 10. Like their food is. Mwah.
No, they have a rotation. I think it's every 2 or 3 months. Their menus is different.
Yeah, they still have the same, like a couple.
Yeah, there's a couple of things.
That are the same, but then they do change it up.
Yeah, it's nice because it's like, oh, like if you want to try something, like and to get recommendations, I'm like, oh, this is.
Love the servers. They're so nice. Fucking the timing's perfect. They're on their game, man. Like 20 out of 10. Yeah. And I can never give a 10 out of 10 to anything. Yeah. Food is honestly a 10 out of 10, but like those are like it's one of my favorite restaurants. And a service, no one can compare. Like that's like. Deion Sanders, that's Tom Brady, that's like that service. I haven't been to a restaurant in Canada or in this like ever that service was that good. Like they should literally have a side business where any restaurant that opens can hire them to train their staff for 2 months or whatever period they need to train a staff and just teach them how to do it.
Because you can tell it's intentional too. Because even if you look like the interior, like the attention to detail, the Instagram,
everything.
Bro, it's like
everything.
You know, you can, because even if you don't know what you want to eat and just go on the Instagram, like, this looks good. Yeah. I wasn't even trying to eat this, but this looks great.
And that's the tough part is like, because like then they know that, they may know that and want to like expand or do multiple locations, but like that's what makes them so special. Yeah. And like when you open locations, there's a chance for it. That's why like places, it's either you have the basic thing where it's like a McDonald's where like it's kind of impossible to fuck it up. Like it's like burgers and fries, fast food.
But even like something McDonald's too.
But like something that's so detailed, it's hard to make a cookie cutter version of that. It's harder. It's not that it can't be done. It's just harder. But they would fucking kill it, man. Yeah. I love that place so much. Hopefully they see this and give your boy a lifetime. Anytime you call, just got to drop D English, baby. And I get reservations.
But that's the thing. Even then, like it's like one of those places like they're so like because I think they're like Michelin rated
for you, Mr. English. Come on through.
I think they're even Michelin rated now because I think when that time
it might have been a recommendation.
Oh yeah,
I don't think they got a star. Not that many places got stars, but it might be like a recommendation, like a
I'm surprised they didn't get at least 1 star because there's a couple places that because remember what was that other place you went to? Because I did a shootout there, and you were telling me the food wasn't great.
There's a couple places that got stars where the food's okay. I think that they give stars to like the people, the ones that do like the shared plates and like it kind of comes out in courses. They give a lot of stars to places like that. Like it's not like you just order off the menu, boom. It's like you're eating. I don't know why, but I believe that's definitely one that they should do. And I think Miku should get one, honestly. I don't think Nightingale should get one. Like Nightingale's very good, but I'm not sure if they like it's not good enough to get a Michelin star. But I do think Miku, I think should definitely get a fucking Michelin star. And then I think Savio Lope for sure. Yeah. Honestly, I fucking love Savio Lope. I might just fucking make a reservation right now. I'm not even gonna lie. No bullshit. It's wintertime, perfect time for some Italian food.
You might only get it for November, bro, because that's what I did. I couldn't find anything sooner.
I'm going to phone them right now. First of all, I'm just going to fucking post this online, and hopefully they see it. I'm going to tag them in it. And I'll be like, hey, Daniel English, and hopefully anytime I call, they'll be like, we could squeeze you a little table in the back, Mr. English. We got you.
Just getting too excited? No.
I'm super excited. So, we got to start packing up because we got this staff thing after. I think it's going to be a little bit more tense than last time than what she was telling me. She was like prepping and shit last night. I'm just here to show face, kiss babies.
Damn, we went for a long time.
Big niggas. I don't know. What was that, like an hour?
Hour and 30 maybe.
No, that's an hour and it didn't turn off.
Yeah, because I told you I'm working.
It's another dub, baby.
Yeah.
We out here, we dubs.
I'm just trying to get better, bro. That's what it is, man.
One thing I wanted to ask was, should we fucking, I never asked you, but because I did that vote on if we should expose Black Vancouver and let people know who it is. I'm pretty sure, like, this is one of the things. It's like court. Yeah. So it's like I have all this evidence. So like I just want to kind of put the evidence out and let the public decide if it's these 2 people that we think it is. But like this is all the evidence that I have, and you guys decide. Yeah. But based off the evidence we got, I'm pretty sure it's fucking them, and I'm pretty sure they deserve it. And the thing that I wanted to do was I kind of wanted to like let it settle, so like they kind of forget about us. They just block us, talk their shit that time about us, and let it settle, so they think we went away and we like scattered away like little rats and fucking didn't come back. And now it's like, boom, bitches, you must have forgot. So what do you think? Be honest, because like this is a tag team thing.
Yeah.
If you don't want to put it out and let them know, we won't. But like I want to, because like I fucking don't like those people.
Yeah.
If it's who it is, those like I've never met them, but we ain't friends now.
Because I was thinking about it, I was like, I want the friends, to be honest. I feel like they need to be exposed.
For sure. It's accountability. For me, the biggest thing, it's like, we could disagree. I disagree with a lot of people. A lot of people don't like me. I don't care. We can do that. And I can not dislike you personally. Like, we just have a disagreement, so we're not going to be friends, or we're not going to agree on a certain thing, or whatever. You could block me. I don't care. But it's the accountability part where now you're able to talk this shit, and I don't even have a face to look at.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even be like, oh, or like if I see you at the club, it's like, stay away from this person or whatever. Like, it's like, you need to be accountable for the things that you say and the things that you do. And when there's no accountability, that's when like corruption happens or like just whatever. Like you need to be accountable you need to be 10 toes down. Yeah. And if you're not, I know a lot of people, and clearly I do, because I had a couple people hit me up and fucking throw all this evidence at me. Yeah, and now I got a whole fucking... Because
that's the thing, that a lot of people do want to know, and a lot of people feel the same way, but it's also...
Dude, you saw the post?
Yeah, and then I got to a point where it's like, I just don't give a fuck enough about these people.
No, I do.
And I'm like, that's why for me, I'm just like...
No, I do.
We can talk about it off camera. I'm like, I really don't give a fuck.
No,
it's not affecting my life. So I'm like, I might just leave that call to you. I'm like, I don't.
But
really
if I decide you're cool with it.
Yeah.
Watch this. How much? What was it? It was 93%. 50. We had an okay amount of votes. So 54 votes. Dude, like fucking like 1,200 people saw the story. So not everyone voted, obviously, but like 1,200 people seen a story. I think
it's also because a lot of people are like...
And like we have a decent amount of followers.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are like...
1,200 is a lot. I'm not getting 1,200. You get 1,200 on your stories?
Like views?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, bro, we've been popping off lately, bro. But also...
I'm not getting 1,200.
Well, I think it's a lot
like
of...
a good story will get like 600. So like, and this is like on my personal. So like, I threw up one on the fucking... podcast account and it got 1,200 and like 54 said expose them and 4 people were like,
well, for me, I'm in a weird space where it's a lot of it too. It's like it's a lot of ops out there. So I mean,
I don't give a fuck.
No, that's why I'm getting the views. So that's why I keep
posting. That's
yeah.
You think so? You think it's a lot of people?
Because
just so watching your shit, just creeping.
I've been intentional about like the things I've been posting and like just looking at my stats.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that I've been bookmarked and I'm like, interesting.
What do you mean bookmark? Like someone saved your shit?
Yeah, you know how like, I sometimes send you stuff and it's like bookmarked? Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. Or like
for shared.
Or like, yeah, it's like I'm looking at the things that I shared.
Yeah.
And then also like the things that are bookmarked.
You could see how many like people bookmark your shit?
Yes.
I thought it was just a share. You can only see if people shared your shit.
I'll show you. You can.
But you think people ops are bookmarking your shit? And
yes.
being like, oh, he's talking shit. Let me keep receipts.
It's. I think a lot of it is because I've been speaking my truth.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think I'm saying some wild shit. Because even my.
What have you been saying? I've been watching your stuff.
This is the thing.
Well, if it's public, so you can say it.
It's not as in like I've just been sharing my truth, like how I feel about certain situations.
What kind of ops you got? Who's your ops? Your ex? Who's your ops?
I don't know. That's the thing. It's.
What do you mean you don't know?
Who
do you think? If I think I have ops, I have like names in my head that I'm like, oh, like probably this nigga and this nigga.
Well, here's my thing, and that's this what this year has taught me. There's a lot of people who I thought were my friends, but are not my friends.
And how did you figure that out?
Just the way the year have developed and certain things that have happened. I'm just like.
But people aren't good. Like friends aren't like. At least I don't know. I have a bunch of good friends. Like I have like a handful of like 5 good ones that like will always like hit me up and like congratulate me and like always like commenting on my shit. But like most friends are just bad at supporting their friends.
No, but it's not even just support.
Don't care.
I think here's what my thing. This is what I've learned. One, I was opening myself up to certain people who aren't really my friends, and that thing where it's like even the term friend, I only have probably 3 or 4 close friends. Everyone else is just like acquaintance of people just I know.
For sure.
Yeah. Right? So that's what it is.
That's always going to happen. Like, especially if you start doing stuff, and you start like kind of getting somewhere in your career, like.
But the thing is, I was naive. This is what my thing was.
But you always hear people talk, like at least you hear celebrities and stuff like that saying like as you get more successful, like your friends start thinning out.
Yeah.
And like the people that you thought were cheering for you, once you actually start to like do things that are a little bit better than them, then they start supporting, and they're kind of like.
Well, that's the thing. It's like
let's see if he falls on his face.
And that's what I think. Imagine, for example, like, let's say like you like 3 years down the line, we decide to go 50-50 on the gym and like, you know, or something like that, right? And then I end up just like, fuck Daniel, I'm just going to go do my own thing without having a conversation with you about it.
Yeah, people do that all the time.
Yeah, but that's the thing. For me, it's like.
So snaky.
That stuff had happened, but it was like, like with people like,
Bro, it happened to two good
expect.
friends of ours that own a gym. They had someone working. I'm not going to say names, but I'm sure people who know about the situation and hear me talking know about the situation, but worked for them and then started another gym under their nose and like tried to sneak clients and do all this stuff and like take them to court and do all this madness. And it's like, bro, like, let's say this. I don't know, like the people that I'm saying are my friends. I don't know them like I know you, but I know them enough to know that they're the nicest people, and like their heart is so kind, and they just want the best for everyone, and like it's like for you to do that to them, it's just like I know you're a snake. Just like I said about you, where I'm like if you have beef with Stanley, like you know I can't fuck with you because like you're way too nice of a person and so genuine that like if you don't like Stanley, like you're a fucking. I just know you're an asshole. And
this is what my thing is, and like this is again, there's two sides to the story. It's what you said, and this is what I've had to learn and like had to deal with. Like not everyone is my friend because the way I try and move through life. Again, I'm not perfect. I make mistakes, but the thing I try to think about it from like a people perspective. That's always been my thing. The other side of that, I've realized I have been blind to like my blind spots. So that's something I've had to work on. It's like now, like whenever someone mentions something to me, I actively think about it and put some actions to it. But my thing is, like we were saying before, you can't be my friend and see my blind spot and then not have that conversation with me, but go behind my back and talk about it.
To what, other people?
It just doesn't make sense to me.
No, that's weird.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. There's been a lot of people who were in my inner circle, and now that I have taken a step back and looked at like the skeleton of like taking off the skin, and like, you know, done the research, I'm like, no, the signs were always there. There was just behaviors I was just because ignoring. I'm a nice guy.
Yeah, you can't ignore
was oblivious
that shit.
to, and then it's like now that I was like,
trouble, man. So like perfect example of that is that there's this guy. And super nice guy. I really like him. Like, I like him. But he, like, when you become friends with somebody, like, I'm super, like, I'm myself 100%.
Yes, 100%.
But I'm not a snake. So, like, I don't, like, even I tell Katrina, I'm like, I don't like gossip. Like, don't tell me about other people's lives.
I don't
like,
give a fuck.
So, like, this guy's super nice. And then he was about to tell me a story about a guy that we both knew. And I was like, nah, don't tell me. And he's like, oh, no, it's all good. And I'm like, no, like, seriously, don't tell me. Like, I want him to tell me. And if he's not going to tell me, then I don't want you telling me. And he's like, oh, no. And then he told me anyway. And I was like, okay, I can't trust you now. Because, like, if there's a story about me,
this is what my thing is.
I can't trust you.
Exactly. And this is what my thing is. It's like, because the stuff we have had conversations about and the stuff you've told me, I'm like, I can tell you stuff and I'm like, I know it's not going to get out.
For sure.
And if it does get out, I know who to have a conversation with.
For sure. He fucked up with that one. Because like now I'm like, we can't get close.
Yeah.
I can't share nothing. Because if I do something and you tell people, like I know you're going to tell people because you just told what I literally told you. Don't tell me, and you fucking told me this man's business. Because you thought I wanted to hear it when I literally told you I didn't want to hear it. But we got to go. We got to do the staff thing. Staff starting to show up. Peace, guys. We'll see you next week. All love.